Yo, what is good, Knicks Nation? Welcome back to Knicks Media. This is Richie, and in this video, I want to give you guys my recap to the Knicks and Pacers game. The Knicks win 92-84 in a crazy game against the Pacers at Madison Square Garden. This was a bizarre one, guys. There's not really one person that went off. The highest scorer only had 16 points. This was a defensive game from both the Pacers and the Knicks. They grinded it out. It was an intense game all the way down to the fourth quarter. We had an interesting lineup late in the game. The bench did their thing. A lot of things happened in this one, and the defense was the reason why we won this game. In the fourth quarter, the Knicks held the Pacers to only 10 points. That is why the Knicks won. It's awesome to see the Knicks go back to their roots of why we won so many games last year is because of the defense. The defense has been the issue for this Knicks team this year. So far, it's a really good sign that they're going back to their identity and what they did so well last year. So in this video, I want to give you guys my recap. Before I hop into it, I just want to mention if you guys are new to Knicks Media, please make sure you smash that subscribe button. And if you want to check me out over on Instagram and Twitter, that is at nyknicks_media. And if you enjoy the video, please do not forget to thumbs it up. With that being said, let's jump right into the video. So, like I said, guys, this was a bizarre game from the Knicks. It wasn't that typical, shooting a lot of threes, making a lot of threes, high scoring, 130 to 125. This was one of those 90s classics between the Knicks and the Pacers. And I wasn't alive during that era between the Knicks and the Pacers. I know that rivalry was crazy, but I did go back and watch it throughout my life, and I understand that culture, what it was like in the 90s. And even Mike Breen said this game reminded him of those classic Knicks and Pacers game back then because of the way this game ended of defense. And I love that the Knicks were able to get this dub because of defense, because that's been the biggest concern for this Knicks team outside of the starters, outside of some players having some dry route, slumps right now. The defensive identity for this Knicks team has been lackluster, and the Knicks having two days off over the weekend. We go out there, defend home court, because we're in a really important stretch right now. We have a 3-game homestand, including the game tonight against the Pacers. We verse the Magic Wednesday, and then the Rockets Saturday, all at home. So we get the job done tonight. Hopefully we can do the same against the Magic and then the Rockets, because these are the games that we got to win early in the season, because the Knicks have been up and down all season long. This was a great victory from Tom Thibodeau, Julius Randle, Derrick Rose, IQ, Kemba. There's a lot of things that looked really good tonight from the New York Knicks, but it was not perfect. A lot of sloppy play as well. A lot of things still needs to be worked on. This team is far from hitting the groove, and I feel like this season, guys, is going to be all about this Knicks team getting chemistry as the season progresses, because the biggest reason why the bench unit is playing so well together is because they have continuity. All 5 of those players played together last year, all together under Coach Tom Thibodeau. The starters are getting used to each other. Kemba Walker, Evan Fournier thrown into Julius and RJ and Mitch. They're still trying to get their chemistry going, and I feel like as the season progresses, they're going to hit their stride, they're going to hit their rhythm, and the starters will start doing their thing. So basically tonight, the bench really sparked this game. Late in that, third quarter, it's always a third quarter of doom. Knicks always lose in the third quarter, and they did lose in the third quarter. They got outscored 25-21. The Knicks were down by 12 points. I was watching the game with my buddy, and I told him, the only way we're going to get back in this game is if the bench comes in, because the bench needs to come in, because we need some spark. We need a spark plug from Obi. We need IQ. We need D Rose. That's exactly what happens. Right when the bench comes in the third quarter, we cut it to a 5-point lead, or a 5-point deficit, rather, and then the fourth quarter, the bench absolutely did their thing, and then we had a really awesome lineup late in the game that I really loved. It was Derrick Rose and Emmanuel Quickley as the backcourt, and then we had RJ Barrett with Julius Randle and Taj Gibson. Mitchell Robinson was unable to finish tonight's game with a sore ankle, and Taj Gibson had to play a lot of minutes, and Taj Gibson is the unsung hero tonight. His defense was so important for this Knicks W. You guys heard me preach about the defense in tonight's game. Taj Gibson was a big reason for it, and I love that mentality, and I love that rotation that Tom Thibodeau had of those 5 guys on the court, of IQ, D Rose, because you cannot take Quickley out of the game when he's hot, because he's a different animal. He's taking a big step, and you're number 2, and D Rose is D Rose. And it's interesting because Kemba Walker had a phenomenal game, but he did not get any minutes in the fourth quarter because Tom Thibodeau wanted to give the minutes to the people that were in rhythm, such as Emmanuel Quickley and D Rose. Even Burks got some fourth quarter minutes. Obi Toppin did as well. So it's just a really good overall effort from this Knicks team as a whole. So now getting into some individual performances, we're going to start off with Kemba Walker, because Kemba started off red hot. He had a really good efficient night. Kemba had 16 points, 2 2 assists, 1 rebound, 8 of 11 from the field. So it's a really good sign that Kemba Walker is getting his groove offensively. I feel like he's taking big steps. I know that he started off the season red hot, then he went through a cold stretch, and now he's back to getting his consistent points. We're coming off a game in Charlotte when he absolutely exploded in the first half. So Kemba is getting his offensive groove underneath him. But the big stat that I don't like is he had a plus minus of a minus 15. So Kemba Walker, obviously, it's the entire starting lineup is not good in terms of points differential. So that needs to be cleaned up. And then going into Julius Randle, Julius did not have the greatest game efficiently, but he did his job of he played really good defense. He got his teammates involved. He played good crashing the rebounds. He finished with 11 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 block shot, 5 of 15 from the field. It's a good sign, guys, that we're not relying on Randle every single game to do what he did last year and was still able to get the victories. Obviously, we want to see Randle start putting up those numbers that we saw last year. He's definitely, trying to get into his groove. He's not that same player we saw last year, but I'm not concerned about that whatsoever. But the one stat that does concern me with Julius Randle is 5 turnovers. He does handle the ball a lot. He's the point forward. I like that he has that mentality, but he's still lackadaisical with the ball. He needs to protect it. He needs to learn that you don't have to make every single play. We have Kemba Walker. We have D Rose. We have RJ. We have other playmakers out there that can handle the ball. Doesn't have to be all you. So 5 turnovers is definitely concerning, and he's been averaging, I think, around 3 turnovers per game. So definitely something to look out for. And then RJ Barrett. RJ Barrett finished with 12 points, 6 rebounds, 1 assist, and he was 4 of 13 from the field, 3 of 7 from downtown. So RJ Barrett is having an interesting stretch of games. So he's coming off having 5 straight games of 20-plus points, absolutely exploding, having a career-high 35 in one game, single-handedly beating the Pelicans. And then after that, he's been in a slump. The past 3 or 4 games, RJ Barrett does not look the same. He's lacking the confidence. He's lacking the finishing at the rim. He's turning the ball over. The defense is still there. The rebounding is still there, but he's lacking that perimeter shooting. And RJ Barrett is a streaky player. He's young. Am I concerned? No. You guys know how I feel about RJ Barrett. I know some people are concerned about him, like, hey, maybe RJ's not that good of a player because he's really up and down. Well, you have to realize the reality of where RJ Barrett is in his career. He's the youngest player on the Knicks still at 21 years old. Even though he's in year number 3, this is a time for RJ to develop his game of adapting of Evan Fournier, Kemba Walker, Julius being around him with those guys. So it's going to be a big process of RJ finding his footing. For him to get 12 points, he's non-existent in the first half, and he goes out there and scores 12 points all in the second half. So RJ did his thing tonight, had a clutch bucket, hit the dagger with the 3-pointer, had still 3-pointers, and RJ's definitely in a slump right now, and I feel like I have all the confidence in him to break out of it. It's only a matter of time. Evan Fournier didn't really do that much. 7 points, 3 assists, 3 rebounds, 3 of 9 from the field. Definitely want to see him get more in rhythm. Definitely need him to hit those shots because he's a big part of this team. Mitchell Robinson, he did a lot when he was on the field. On the floor, rather. 3 blocks for Mitch, but only 15 minutes because he left with an injury. And then getting into the bench is so awesome, guys. I wish this bench unit could play all 48 minutes. I'm just kidding. Emmanuel Quickly led the way. 16 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 5 of 9 from the field, 4 of 4 from downtown, plus minus of a plus 20. Emmanuel Quickly got all the minutes off the bench, 23 to be exact, and he is the spark plug that is so desperately needed for this Knicks club. I love every time he comes out there. He has so much confidence. He's handling the ball so differently. He's sizing people up, crossing people up, finishing at the rim, facilitating to others, hitting his 3-point jump shots, playing really good defense. Emmanuel Quickly is taking a huge step in year number 2, and Knicks fans should be so happy about that. He started off the season rough. Some Knicks fans were already ready to write him off, saying, oh, Quickly was a one-year wonder. He sucks. We should trade him right now. And I'm like, guys, why are you so reactive to just a couple dry, bad games? Basketball is a game of ups and downs. You got to let the season progress before you start being reactive and impulsive and write people off so quickly, no pun intended. So IQ had a phenomenal game tonight. Shout out to IQ. Now going into Derrick Rose, I cannot say enough good things about Derrick Rose. He is probably the best player on the team, low-key. D Rose is so good. He finished with 14 points, 7 assists, 5 rebounds, 7 of 14 from the field, and he missed all of his 3-pointers of 0 for 4, and he still did a phenomenal job. I mean, and his plus minus was a plus 21. Like, D Rose comes off the bench and is just absolutely phenomenal at everything he does, whether it's getting his teammates involved, playing good defense, being efficient at the rim. I mean, the amount of times I saw D Rose explode to the basket, finish with his offhand tonight was phenomenal. D Rose has everything you need for a backup point guard. He is the heart and soul of that bench unit. Obi Toppin came off the bench. He had 4 points and 4 rebounds. Those 4 points were 2 awesome dunks, 1 crazy alley-oop, another posterizing double clutch, two-handed jam from Obi Toppin. He continuously misses his three-point opportunities. That's what's going to take Obi's game to another level when he starts hitting those three-point jump shots, and that will come in time. I definitely believe that. And then Alec Burks, he had 8 points, had 2 timely buckets. 2 of them were from downtown, so Alec Burks had really clutch shots late in that fourth quarter. And then Taj Gibson, man, he is so good, such an unsung hero to this entire team. You know, we were down Nerlens Noel, we were down Mitchell Robinson in the second half. He stepped in, played 28 minutes, finished with 2 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 block, 1 steal, padding the stats for Taj Gibson, and a plus minus of a plus 22. So Taj Gibson is doing his thing, and you gotta love everything about Taj Gibson because he is the unsung hero for tonight, and he brings so much to this team, and he's a luxury because when Mitch and Nerlens are not up, we have Taj to rely on. So guys, that's my thoughts about tonight's game. Please leave a comment down below your thoughts of the Knicks victory over the Pacers. Phenomenal dub for the Knicks. This was a must-win game at home. The Knicks got the job done because of their defense, because of their pesky mentality. That was a must-needed victory. So guys, comment down below your thoughts. Smash that like button if you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Let's go Knicks. Peace.